Hello, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Aaron Smith Can't Lose. Happy Sunday afternoon to everybody on this October. Where the hell am I? October 2nd, 2022. I have Michael Forrester of Sharp Implements. Good afternoon, sir.
How you doing, man?
I'm here. Yeah, I'm still stuck in September, apparently.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I understand.
Yeah, like that,
Whenever it changes,
song?
it takes a little time to adjust whenever it changes. That's all.
Right. So, we're just going to get right into it. As you know, it's always open forum. And whatever you want to discuss, whatever you want to talk about, however you want to talk about it, the floor is yours, Michael. So go ahead.
All right. Well, let's start from conversations that have been floating around. People making their fucking noise about it. Black characters or racial changes for characters on fucking movies and TV shows and shit. I haven't watched the whole House of the Dragon shit yet, but I have watched the, and I have no intention of seeing the Little Fucking Mermaid because that's Disney shit. I don't care.
That's for kids.
People, singing and shit. But here's the thing: there's two sides to the argument, and I can see the points from both sides of the argument. One side is like, you know what? These things belong to certain cultures, and changing it up is kind of disrespectful. And I'm like, yeah, I feel you on that. Because if somebody was to decide to do some Yoruba and make it a bunch of white dudes, I'd be like, yo, what the fuck is that about?
Right.
That don't make sense. Can't do that. But on the other hand, would have been legendarily white, and they only put forth white content.
Right.
So the chances of seeing anything based off of African religion and beliefs is slim to none unless we do it ourselves, which is my other argument behind that shit. Stop crying that Hollywood won't do it for us and just fucking do it yourself.
Right.
That's my big argument in response to the whole noise. It's just, all right, get off your ass.
Yeah, we were talking about, DJ Mecca and I were talking about that. We were trying to bring in the conversation, but I'll just put both of these shows together. And you hit it on the head. You were right. You were absolutely right. We were talking about the same exact thing.
I'm looking at it, I like the idea of seeing variety of characters, different skin colors and cultures. I'm a big fan of that, fucking genders, whatever. The 3,000 gender society, whatever it is these days. I'm a fan of seeing all the stories. I'm listening to fucking YouTube and they're talking about, crazy ass shit that people have done. And like, yo, this woman bought a tank. This woman did this shit. I'm like, wow, really? How do we not get to hear these stories? So I'm saying, all right, cool. And I'm all for it. I think the problem is how it's done.
Right.
When the selling point of something is, look, this character is gay, or look, this character is black, or look, this character is trans, or look, it's all about girl power, then there's a problem. Because you're beating me in the head with it.
Right.
And I'm not feeling that.
Right.
I'm really not, now you're going overboard. People will be like, they'll make some movie, on that girl power bullshit. And then when it doesn't do well, oh, it's because men hate strong women in roles. Like, fuck you mean? Terminator 2, Aliens.
Yeah.
Fucking
originals.
There's a shit ton of, there's a shit ton of movies. The problem is not female leads or strong women or any of that shit. You made a shitty show or you made a shitty movie.
Right.
People,
exactly.
Their primary gripe is, I just didn't like it. And when you ask me, I didn't enjoy it, I wasn't into it, I wasn't feeling the characters. You can tell the difference when somebody's saying, I didn't like it because, I saw niggers.
Yeah.
You can tell the difference at that point.
Absolutely.
When they're talking, even if they don't say it directly that way, you can read between the lines. You can hear between the words. That's how I look at it. And there's a big difference. When somebody's like, oh, there couldn't possibly be black elves. Well, why? Because blah, 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 blah. Okay, you might have a point. But this is what's on the screen.
It's all fictional at the end of the day.
That's all you need, right?
That's all I need. Thank you. Pardon me a second. My niece is bringing me my wallet because my dumb ass left the crib without it.
Oh, that sucks. You don't need that, especially as big as black as you are.
Yeah, yeah, no. I mean, I might have lost weight, but that it's not enough weight for police to look at me and go, nah, it's harmless.
Yeah. But yeah,
Um,
Becca and I was talking about that too. It was like, look, hey, he had his opinion on it, and he basically was saying that, because he's more familiar with it than I am about, the Lord of the Rings, and they were actually, or I didn't actually no, it's actually not Lord of the Rings. It was Game of Thrones, like you were saying, that there were black people in it, and that's what's in the book. They didn't have purple eyes or some shit like that, and like in the show, but otherwise it's fine. But with the
yeah.
Little Mermaid, like it's it's just it's all fake to me, so I don't really give a shit. It's
Hmm.
not important. I get it, like you saying. I understand your point too, but it's like I don't care. Like I don't about none of this shit. I don't. I mean, you want to talk? If you want
And
to talk about it, debate about it, hey, yeah, whatever. But I'm good.
hmm Now you actually put forth the point that matters most. It's fantasy. Whose feelings is it really hurting? You know, the problem is 9 out of 10 times people grew up watching something, and when changes are made to it, they piss and moan.
Yeah.
And now that we live in a society, now that we live in a country who's currently supercharged on everything about race
Right.
for the past, what is it now, 12 years?
Yep.
You know, from the moment Obama said, I'm going to run, shit went extra crazy. It's always been a problem, but it went extra crazy. So, I'm just like, half the time it's action because, you know, the world is changing.
It is.
Now, I understand that outside of the fictional aspect, the world is changing.
Right.
Thank you. You know, things is changing up. Every character that you see on the screen now in your comics and whatever, your media, which is all fictional to begin with, but everything you see now is not going to be based around a white guy. Okay, what's the big deal? The big deal is that culture is taught them that they're the most precious thing on earth, apparently, or something, and that's what matters most.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, there's more to the world, you know. So you're gonna see a bunch of things now, and whatever. Like to me, growing up, you know, that argument about representation matters didn't matter to me. I didn't give a shit. I I watched and I enjoyed it for what it was, and if I didn't like it, I didn't like it. Like I used to watch fucking Dukes of Hazzard,
Yeah.
and it wasn't until I was a grown ass man I looked back at that shit and I was like, yo, I was a mindless fucking kid watching some dudes down there driving around with the fucking Confederate flag on their car,
Right.
enjoying the shit out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I was a kid. I ain't no better. I ain't no shit.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a focus in my, so it was never an issue. Looking back on it now, yeah, I wouldn't watch that shit.
No.
On the basis of, I'm like, I'm not feeling it, you know, but
Yeah.
it never mattered to me. It didn't skin color my characters in some movie or TV show I was watching was. Because that didn't affect how I viewed myself, or it mostly didn't. There are other factors that came into play, which more involved what's supposed to be my own people. That's where I got the problems from, you know, until like high school when I had my first dude throw the N-word at me, like, really?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then club work, I a whole lot, you know, but outside of that, it was like mostly what's supposed to be my own people talking me down. If I say, yeah, I'm Jamaican, you know, my family's Jamaican, oh, so you ain't a real black man, what? And
Yeah.
then Jamaica's like, you
I've
ain't a real,
heard that too.
you was born in the States. Like, really? Alright, fuck all y'all.
Right.
You know, I ain't got time for bullshit, you know. So representation wasn't never a big deal to me, but I see where it's a big deal to some people. You know, I see how it's having an effect on young kids now, some adults now. I won't lie, when I saw The Woman King, I loved the shit out of that movie. I think it is necessary watching for young black girls, some grown black women as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, you know, regardless of the inaccuracy of the story, like you're watching a Hollywood movie and you want complete historical accuracy, what kind of idiot are you? There's no such thing as an accurate action drama movie from Hollywood.
No,
That's not how that works.
no, it doesn't.
They have to they have to dramatize shit and change shit so they can make the money and get the asses, because they got to get the asses in the seats. That's what studios want. They want the money. They don't care about people's feelings.
They
Like
don't.
they don't give a shit about that shit.
It's about the money at the end of the day.
Outside of they only manipulate the feelings to make the money.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, it's flying and fuck. So the movie is great. It's got the feels. It's got the imagery of strong black going in, doing battle, whooping ass
Right.
against dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, so I think that, it ticks all the fucking cards, you know. It's not about they're not sexualized.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, what's shown is, yeah, you're more than a sex object. You can be powerful. Beautiful movie as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've heard the argument, it's historically inaccurate. This is what the Dahomey, tribe was like, really? And I'm like, yeah, okay, good. You know what this does? It opens the door to looking into the actual history. Something that is not encouraged to begin with. So, yeah, it's not accurate, but it now tells people, wait, this is based on something real?
Mm-hmm.
No, now I want to know more about this. Wait, and then you find out there's other stuff and other stuff. Suddenly it's less about people talking along the lines of conspiracy to find out about tribes in Africa and more about finding out the actual truth based on just general curiosity. I don't see how that could be wrong, me personally, you know. Um, and yeah, a bunch of white people make money off of us sitting in the seats and watching an action flick. Well, that only changes if we decide to open our own theaters. I actually went and did a quick search, like last week, because people are always complaining about stuff. And I was like, well, how many black-owned movie theaters are there?
Not many.
I did a Google search.
Outside of Magic
I got a
Johnson.
Google search. But Magic Johnson is just part of a chain that belongs to white people.
Oh, so he doesn't own
Because the United Artists Theaters, AMC,
Right.
Magic Johnson AMC, that's AMC. AMC is not a black-owned company.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the problem is that, well, first, and then also, how much media is made by black people for black people.
Not much.
And then to top it off, how much is it supported? I know that there's stuff out there. There's Kickstarter projects with, black anime and stuff like that.
Right.
And people will criticize harder than they'll criticize the regular anime. Yo, give me a second. I gotta get something. Yeah, Forrester, Michaels, 210 Yeah, I'm just putting my government information all out there.
Well, they know it anyway. Like,
Fuck it, yeah,
you know
yeah,
what? That's so that you're social for sure, but you don't put that on there. They don't need that. Like I said,
yeah,
all these phones we got and all this technology, they need to find us. They will.
exactly.
I, I was telling Mecca, I was like, look, I'm a double Z negative F person. Like, there ain't nobody listen to this shit. If they are, hey, more power to you. Appreciate it. But hey, you know.
Thank you. You too.
But going back to your argument about black media and all that stuff, it's out there, but it's the wrong stuff. It's that Tyler Perry, Medea, black men,
Oh,
especially dark black men are terrible. Light skinned men are best, and then all that other shit, and then you got
I'm tired.
yeah.
Yo, I dated a chick for like 7 years, and she loved the shit out of them fucking movies and plays, and watched them continuously. And
Yeah.
the first time I watched it, I was like, all right, this is kind of entertaining. The 50th time, I was like, this is some bullshit. I'm tired of seeing this shit. Like, to this day, I can't stand Tyler Perry and his work.
Yeah.
So even when he does something good,
Mm-hmm.
because I've heard he's got some good stuff, I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. Because it was just fucking, it was an onslaught of the same thing over and over. Literally the same story every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Sometimes the exact same actors. So what the fuck? You know, it's like, all we gotta, is that all we have to offer at entertainment, drama, and comedy?
Yeah.
Really? That's it?
Yeah. I mean,
When's the
yeah.
last time we had a black, the last time we had a black action movie was Carl Weathers playing Action Jackson in the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't count Blade?
You know what? My mistake, because Blade actually created the fucking comic megaverse.
Yeah, he started the
Like,
MCU. Yeah.
he's credited as being the reason why the formula they have now works.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
But as far as like a regular action movie, yeah, you're right. I don't even
but
remember one
but
either. I mean, what about I mean, The Rock's done a couple of things, but technically he's Samoan, so I don't know.
and he's considered safe by the industry the same way Will Smith was considered safe.
Right. Not no more.
You know, well, not Will Smith ain't considered safe no more, no. But for a long time, he was considered safe. He wasn't considered dangerous in any way.
Right.
The Rock, for all his size and muscle, puts forth an image that's family friendly enough
Right.
that he's accepted by the masses overall.
Right.
So he's never considered dangerous.
Right.
You know, so there's that in play. Um, literally, we could only name two genuine action flicks. How you doing, man? I'm gonna need a bag. Yes. Hold on a second. Yo, Aaron, can you pause?
Yeah. So that the original Blues Brothers was on with
Perfectly understandable.
with Belushi.
Hold on, they didn't remake the Blues Brothers,
No.
did they?
The original is on.
Oh, okay.
The first one,
I was
not
like,
the Blues Brothers 2000. That shit was terrible.
I didn't know they remade it.
No, they
That's
didn't remake
sad.
it. They didn't remake it. They did a sequel. It was a sequel with Dan Aykroyd and John Goodman and some other people. It wasn't very good. You're not missing anything.
Oh wow, I didn't even know it got made. That's sad.
Yeah, it did poorly. And the thing was, they said that John, Jim's brother, was supposed to be in it,
Yeah.
the other brother, but he had like some prior engagement, so he couldn't do it. So they ended up started with Goodman, John Goodman, who was a good actor too, but it wasn't a very great movie. It wasn't at all.
I just did this. Yeah, that sucks. That extra sucks. They should have just left it alone.
Well, we were also
I
talking
did.
about
I
that
did.
as well, about certain movies and certain things that shouldn't be remade anymore. We had a list, like a couple of things that we were talking about, and how certain movies that people wouldn't like anymore, or wouldn't be bothered with, like The Wiz. That actually would be a good. Actually, people would actually would like that. Right? Actually, would like that one. Actually, I take that back. That's what we said.
You know, people would like it if they could find the right artist for the roles, basically. And
Oh, I meant
that's
the original, not remaking it. But yeah, you're
you know, the original is going to be a tough sell because Michael Jackson became controversial,
right. Yeah,
and
but
people are still of divided opinions on him. Um,
he's been dead for over 10 years, so I don't understand the problem. But whatever.
no, we're talking about when cancel culture gets involved.
Oh
Being
yeah,
dead,
yeah, those people. Yeah.
basically. But some people don't stop it. You're dead. They got to keep going. Like so. I
Yeah.
mean, they brought up some shit. They brought up shit Sean Connery said. They brought up shit John Wayne said. And it's like, niggas is dead. Fucking John Wayne's been dead forever ago.
Yeah, he's
How
like
the fuck are we?
beyond dust now.
You know, it's like, yeah. So he said racist shit. I don't care. He's dead. He's been dead. The old white dude who, when he was growing up, he said that shit. In the
Yeah,
time he said that shit, it was trying to say it. So what the fuck? You know? Um,
because this generation, like I told Mecca, is soft. They can talk about anybody under the sun, but when we talk about them, it's a problem.
you know what? That particular, there's a statement. I'm going to be misquoting it, so I'm just basically paraphrasing it. Um, strong times, no, is it harsh times make strong men? Easy times make weak men.
Yeah, and it comes from
And that's the,
everything too.
you know, well, because things are so easy now, parents don't really feel like they got to work because the parents are weak.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that aspect to the whole scenario is that we have a weak people because it's weak times. You know, the people who come out of the Ukraine for the next 2 decades will be some badass motherfuckers.
Oh
The
yeah, absolutely.
people coming out of the U.S. now is shit. They're fucking baby soft. They're baby duty, like just
Yeah, they are.
crying over, crying over every little thing.
It's
You know,
sad.
like
Yeah.
to be honest, the arguments over, like where we started, like the arguments over the skin color of fictional characters, like,
Yeah.
uh, you know, the simple solution to this is to go, well, that's stupid. I ain't gonna go see that shit,
Yep.
and just to get an end of it. When I see something I don't like, I'm like, well, I'm not seeing that shit. If I
It's
want
just
to
like
talk about it, and if I want to talk about it, first I have to watch the shit.
hmm
That's my rules.
right.
People were grabbing, the Woman King. I was like, let me see it for myself and see what I think.
hmm
And because outside of that, I'm just blowing fucking gas out my ass. Yeah, I haven't watched. I've seen Tyler Perry, so I can shit all over him because I've seen more than enough of Tyler Perry and his shows and the Medea character to say, yeah, this shit is bullshit. Because I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've never watched
yeah.
I've never watched Friends of Seinfeld, so I have no opinion. I'm like, those were shows made for white people with a bunch of white people in them. I don't care. Never watched it. I don't know if it's funny or not. I never watched it.
Um, I have not Friends. I think Friends is blatantly racist because people don't see it. But Seinfeld, it's okay. It's all right. It's like you take it for what it is. I'm
Right.
I'm like a fan of Curb Your Enthusiasm, the guy that co-made Seinfeld. I find him
Yeah.
hilarious
I
because I
know
like his
about
dark humor.
yeah. I know about him. Yeah.
He's hilarious, and he doesn't even try to be funny, but he's like that show is stupid funny. But
Right.
but with like I'm guilty, I watched the Oval, the Tyler Perry joint, but that's politics and that's drama. That's pretty much what happens anyway. That's art imitating life. Um,
Right. Right.
but yeah, the whole Medea thing and like I was over that. I've been over that, and it goes back to I don't remember what year that came out, but Birth of a Nation came out where they were talking about Nat Turner, that movie, Birth of a Nation.
Right.
And it
Right.
came out the same week that Medea Halloween thing came out, and we all know who black people went to see, which movie they went to go see,
Of course.
you know. So, you arguing about fake ass cartoon character, but when it comes to something real, you don't want to be bothered with it. So, like, I'm like, okay, you can have that, but don't involve me with that shit because, like I said, at the end of the day, I don't care. I really don't. You know.
It just seems like such a pointless argument to get into because
It
people
is.
will argue one thing and then when it's time to really make a strong argument in the opposite direction, they don't. Like you could make the difference by patronizing the stuff made by your own people,
Yeah.
but you don't.
No.
And
It's yeah.
I'm equally guilty. You know what? I'm guilty of that myself because I don't watch black comedies because I don't find comedies outside of stand up to be funny.
Right.
I just don't. You know, like people are like, oh, but it was so funny. I'm like, yeah, not to me. I've tried. Shit's
Yeah.
just not funny.
I can't watch certain things now themselves. You know, like the new black comedies, like it's like hit or miss for me, and even the stand up is hit or miss. But that's different for me because I've actually done it. But you know, with the old school, like I guess you can't. Well, these new people would call that old school. Like Harlem Nights was funny as hell. You know,
Oh yeah, that's classic.
you
That's a
know
classic.
that you know. But I can't like something like now. I can't even think of anything to talk about now. But going back to this like we were talking about, like you know, you're guilty of that as well. Like you know, I posted that gif on your post about that
Sausage.
Little Mermaid thing that you had talked about on your page, like with the popcorn. I'm like, you know, I was going to enjoy the show because I ain't got nothing to say on it. I don't. To me, it don't. I
Mm-hmm.
don't care either way.
It's literally whatever. Like seriously, what's the argument? The argument is what they changed the skin color of a mythical creature being done in a live action movie. Okay, you don't like it? Oh, it hurts your feelings because this is something you identified with when you were a kid. But you see, that argument I laugh at because it's the same argument people have been giving forever about all kinds of shit. Every
Hmm.
time they do some comics or books, oh, but that's not how it is. It's like your problem with it is that it differs from what you remember as a kid.
Yeah,
It ruins childhood memories,
the times have
and it
changed.
doesn't.
And you don't want to get with this,
You
and
know,
you want to let things go. I've let the go fact that they fucked up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 times. I let that go. The original show will
yeah,
always be the best show. As the movies, they have fucked that up 2 times already. Oh well, moving on.
yeah. Like, what
Yeah.
else are you gonna do? Crying about it. You know, there were things that were legitimate. Like I still haven't seen the Sonic movies, but I saw what the visual effects looked like before they made the big outcry.
Hmm.
And I agree, it looked kind of shitty.
Right.
So they changed that, and that was a good change. But you see, the problem is because they won that particular battle, they suddenly believe they can win every battle
Right.
and change everything to suit them because when they were growing up as soft little monkeys, everything they wanted, they got in their home.
Hmm.
But you leave mommy and daddy, the world is a whole other place.
Hmm.
The world gives no fucks about you.
They don't.
That's the reality.
And the
And
thing, yeah, go ahead.
they don't understand the concept of the big wide world doesn't give a fuck about you, your
Nope.
feelings,
Nope.
gender, your
Nothing at
identity, your
all.
skin, nothing.
None.
The world is like, you pay me.
Because
That's the world.
exactly. And the thing is, you know, their parents didn't prepare them for this. But they shouldn't have to because they were older at a certain age. They should have been old enough to. They Google everything. They research all this other crap, so they should have known that, or somebody should have told them. Yeah, that's
It's
how I
the
think.
it's the idea of you find the facts that fit your narrative. You know, I see it. Like, there's people I know personally, you know, people who write, people who enjoy content, and they're all squeamish when they're, watching stuff like, oh, that thing is happening with a child. And it's like, yeah, we don't accept that in this day and age. But if we're watching something that was made in the fucking dark ages, motherfuckers married 12-year-olds. That
Yeah,
was the reality.
yeah, it was.
You can't ask for historical accuracy in one thing, but want it ignored in another. I get it. For some people, it's uncomfortable. For many people, it's uncomfortable because they have their own trauma. I understand that. but then you should just not go see that movie because you know
Don't
that
watch
that
it.
time period,
Yeah, don't watch it.
that's what they did.
Right.
You know, they 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 didn't believe in shit like consent. They didn't believe in shit like age and
Nope.
no relationship. Minors. They did what the fuck they wanted. It
Yep.
was a fucked up. Don't watch the
Absolutely.
movie that's based on that time, expecting everything to fit the narrative that you want in the current time. That's not how life works. It's just fact. You
Exactly.
know, if I go to watch a movie that's full of, if I go to watch a movie that's made during the fucking civil rights era, I can't get annoyed because I'm hearing the N word just being dropped left and right.
Mm-hmm.
That's accurate. That's
Yeah.
what they said. If I watch a movie with fucking mafioso and they're talking about fucking, um, I know the damn thing. They're like, these fucking eggplants and this and that. Like, I can't get mad. That's how they talk.
They still talk like that. They just don't do it as
It's
much. Or they do it behind
like,
closed doors now.
yeah, it's like, that's how they talk. Why am I going to get mad about that? Like,
But sometimes they get caught on camera or on recording. But yeah, they still talk like that.
exactly. Like, I love Tarantino movies, and he was always catching heat, and he's like, but this is how the material is.
Right.
This is the reality. Like, his movies might be over the top extra, but not for nothing. He's not off the mark. He's just not shying away from it. And the problem is, motherfuckers want everything to be shied away from. There's a bunch of motherfuckers, alright? So the male sapiens don't want anything said about history or the accuracy of the words because it makes them uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
It ruins their childhood that they are good and nice people, that they grew up in a great country, that everything is in the past now, and these things aren't a big deal. It's not as bad as they were told, as they're being told. In fact, it was because they weren't told shit when they were growing up.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know this shit. They're just a bunch of people just finding out now about police brutality being a real issue. We've been telling them forever. And they're like, oh, it's real. Like, yes, motherfucker, we've been telling you for fucking decades that it's real. Like, at this point, it's damn near a century telling you, yeah, we get beat the fuck up just for existing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, they they watch the video during 2020, like, oh my god, this is so tragic.
Right.
The fuck, that's Tuesday at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know,
Every day.
so so it's like what they found so horrifying and scary and heartbreaking is that happened to my cousin. Okay, that happened to my boy down the block. You know, everybody in the hood got a story about fucked up interactions with the police
Yep.
on their own, somebody that they know.
Yep.
So that's what makes the shit laughable. So it's like, oh, you're uncomfortable because, your image of America and you and how you benefit from the way things are is
Mm-hmm.
being challenged.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta live with it. Because we have to live with it. We have to live with the fucked up
They,
view.
they don't.
We have to, we have to live with the fact that every time we're near a police officer, we're like, I hope this nigga don't kill me.
Right.
Like, that's the thought process. I hope this nigga don't kill me.
Look at my
I hope he don't
direction.
decide to,
Mm-hmm.
you know. I'm not here. Leave me alone.
Right. You know, it's kind of like they're desensitized because I think there's a show was talking about it, Law and Order, and how they depict cops as like these heroes and how they're always solving the cases and they're looked high up in the pawn and stuff like that. I mean, I'm a fan of the show myself, and I watch the show, but that's not how cops really are.
Yeah, I watched a video a while back. Somebody I watch regularly, they talk about that. How you get these shows. We've been getting these shows forever with these cops who, you know, are made to be relatable. They might be doing something that breaks the law, but they're doing it because of a family issue or because they were put into a tight spot and they don't have a choice. And everything is to empathize with them. But that's not what it really is. Like,
It's not.
the reality,
It isn't.
motherfuckers is you know,
The only thing that comes
just
close
like,
enough to, I don't think they do it anymore. The only show that comes close to the real police is Chicago PD.
okay.
Now they've done some real like foul shit on that show. Like they depicted like everything like I pretty much believe and I've heard that cops do. You know,
Right.
beating up suspects and violating their rights and all that other shit. You know, yeah. And even the guy,
Yeah.
I think is a great actor. You know, the guy that was on SVU, he got his own show now. You know,
Oh,
his
yeah, Maloney,
character,
yeah.
yeah. You know, he was straight like on that shit. But that's the person that makes it. That Dick Wolf guy. You know, he's
Yeah.
pro-police, so he's not going to depict them bad because not only he is pro-police, that the fact that the NYPD here gives them, perks and all this other stuff anyway. So why
Mm-hmm.
would he make them look in a bad light?
And the moment anybody fucking criticizes them, they immediately just rally hard against whoever it is. And they fucking harass them and everything under the sun. Like, basically they're saying, don't tell the truth on us. Like, niggas, you're the fucking gang in blue.
Yeah.
You make the Crips and the fucking Bloods look like nothing.
Tupac said it best. He said the NYPD is the biggest gang in New York.
Mm-hmm. And it's facts. It's hardcore facts.
LAPD, same shit.
Cops across the fucking country.
You know,
In all directions.
I mean, when you've been out there in the city, like, especially when
Yeah.
like somebody's hopping the train or they doing something, there's like at least 5 of them on one person. That's gang shit.
They're jumping them.
Yeah.
That's the tactic.
That's
They
gang
jump
stuff.
you.
You know?
So, even when it's not necessary.
Yeah.
They're jumping.
Something as petty as hopping the train. They gotta have 4 or 5 of them surrounding them. For what? The most you need to have is 2.
Exactly. But they come up with the bullshit arguments. Oh, one armed person is still dangerous.
Yeah,
or we
bullshit.
don't know what the person has.
Right. Even if they have it, you got 4 or 5 of them, and you're gonna blow his ass away or her ass away.
And my thing is this: I worked in security for a long ass time. Every part of security, and definitely. So I'm not buying the I feared for my life bullshit because I had to deal with drunken high motherfuckers who were violent too. Thank you much. So I find that argument hard to buy. It's like, maybe you should get more training. Like, I'm no fucking martial artist or any shit like that. But I just did what I had to do. I paid attention. I stayed prepared. That situational awareness and shit like that. And I didn't escalate situations because I didn't have power going in my head.
Right.
Which is the problem is motherfuckers get that badge and the gun and suddenly they feel like they're the Billy Badass, the biggest Billy Badass on earth. And they can do whatever they want because they are told that they can do whatever they want.
Exactly. They still have that military mindset because most of them do come from the military and they're still sergeants, lieutenant, captain, and all that other shit too.
You know what's sad about the whole aspect of military going into the police department? There's dudes who go into that because they want that action. They're still tied into that. They need to do the action thing. Right. But a lot of them, they do it because it's hard to adjust back to civilian life. Right. And the closest they can get is being a cop. And they usually just do their job, and they're chill about it. It's the motherfuckers who wanted to pretend to be Army and couldn't make it, and they became cops instead. Or motherfuckers used to get bullied in high school, bullied all their lives. Now they're a cop. They're gonna take it out on everybody.
The ones that got that fucked up fade haircut, those motherfuckers. You going to jail, boy, those motherfuckers.
Always happy to visit harm on somebody. Always happy to lord their power on somebody. Anybody, no matter who it is, for no reason other than they can.
Right.
And you can tell who they are because they're not willing to. They're as bad as the average. They don't believe in taking responsibility.
You don't. And then, damn, we got off topic, but fuck it. Yeah, you're right, absolutely.
Well, that's another topic entirely. Women.
I feel you on that. I definitely feel you on that. Trust me. But it's just it's always something, and there's always something to argue about. And then these people argue about the wrong thing, and then the right thing don't be talked about. And when it's talked about, it's too. So I'm like, F it. It is what it is.
You know, I saw something recently. Interesting. After all the arguing about having Aunt Jemima in the fucking box and Uncle Ben,
Nobody buys it no more.
not just that, but apparently RuPaul is on the box of some product. I thought we didn't want black people on the boxes anymore. What happened? Oh, like makeup.
Are you
I
talking
think that I
about
always say,
you're talking about Snoop Dogg making pancakes after his mother? Talking about that?
no, it's something else entirely. It's a regular brand. I saw a picture of it online. Some regular brand supposedly is featuring RuPaul on the box.
Oh man, that's opening a whole another can of worms. Wow, I haven't seen. That's something new. Must not hit the store shelves over here yet. I didn't see that yet.
Me neither. I haven't seen it at all. I just saw a post of it, and I'm like, if that's real, what the fuck?
Pushing agendas.
You know, like who thought that was a good idea?
Somebody did. RuPaul. I made the joke that he looks better as a woman than he does a man.
Actually, he does. Really? Yeah.
Like I get it, bro. I get it.
And it was talking on a lot of that train.
Yeah, make your money, man. Shit, why not? Might as well. I mean, why not? At the end of the day, right? Everybody else is doing it. No, you're not supposed to. I'm like, yeah, you do it anyway. So what do I care? You ain't helping me get money to pay. So what do I care? Like, hey, do you? As long as you're not directly offending me or directly to a point where I have to say something, it's fine. Even then, I'm gonna think twice about it.
Yeah. Like I have a very specific view. It's like if what you're doing makes you happy, makes you money, makes your life better, and it's not harming anybody else, and it's definitely not interfering with my life, knock yourself the fuck out. You know.
At this point, why not? Yeah.
You know. That's that. I mean, in my views of people living their life, I'm kind of libertarian. Like, live your life, do whatever you want that makes you happy. Don't hurt other people. You know. don't do shit that, people don't consent to. It's like, you want to say fucked up words? Say all the fucked up words you want. You're not immune to the consequences of those fucked up words, but you're free to say them.
Right.
I defend the right of free speech with zeal. Let the Nazis and the white supremacists say whatever the fuck they want. I want to know who they are. And I think I said before, I respect them more for standing by their convictions and not playing them funky games where they smile in your face and then behind your back,
At least they're
they
honest.
show who they really are. Or even worse, after identifying as an ally and all this other bullshit, the moment they're not getting their way, they're calling the cops on you.
Yeah, of course. There's always an agenda.
Mm-hmm.
And if it doesn't work their way, then they have to complain about it. That's all. That's everybody, man. You know that.
Yeah. I like the story that Dave Chappelle told where he was, getting his grub on during the fucking pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And, the chick walked over to him and was talking to him with no mask on and shit. And then he saw somebody filming from the other table. So he walked over to them and started cursing them out.
Mm-hmm.
And then he realized this dude got his nails polished. Oh, he's gay. I'm not supposed to say nothing to him because then I'll be considered fucking homophobic.
Homophobic, yeah.
And then whatever, they have a little confrontation. And then the dude immediately reverted from being a gay man to just being a white man because he called the cops.
They always, like I said, that's always in their back pocket. It never
Mm-hmm.
fails them. If it comes to that, they'll just pull back hard.
I had a not really a conversation. I read somebody's rant in one of my direct messages on fucking shitbook. And they were going on and on and on. Now this person was trans. And I listened to everything they had to say. And I was just like, looking at all this and they're going, so in the end, you're still a white dude.
Yeah.
Because they're making all white dude points.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is, the fault to the left. Like, I don't give a fuck about right or left, but I'm listening to what you're saying. I'm like, so everything that's wrong is the left's fault. And they're destroying the country and they're going to destroy the world and blah, 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 this and that. And you never put forth any solutions.
Never.
I'm listening to this shit. I'm reading this shit and I'm like, you are so far off the deep end. I understand why people are cutting you off.
Well, the thing is that neither side ever has a solution. They just pass it, and they just trade it off every 4 to 8 years. So it really doesn't matter who's in that seat. It's the same shit. You can talk to their faces of blue, and they're equally stupid people like that on both sides. And that politics thing. Like I said, I say certain things about certain people because that's how I see with my two eyes. I'm gonna call a spade, but that whole Democrat Republican thing, they could put it any way they wanted to put it. It's the same thing to me. And I people can tell me this, and people will be like, "Oh, it's not this, like that." Okay, that's how you feel. That's your opinion. I will respect your opinion, but personally, for what I've seen and how I talk, yeah, I'm not doing that, and I'm not arguing that anymore either. That's how they are. That's how they gonna be. Cool. You want to be a strong left to the left, Democrat? Fine. You want to be all the way to the right? Fine. No problem. Because to be honest with you, I have ideologies of both sides. There's some things that I agree with on both of them. So what does that make me? I guess that makes me a centrist, right? Whatever that means.
I don't even know what it stands for, where it puts people like us anymore, because I'm the same way. There's stuff I like from one side, there's stuff I like from the other side. There's valid points that everybody makes.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I'm concerned, you know, and that big argument about, well, the Dems did this and they did that, historically, and this is what they're about, and the right does this and the right. I'm like, correction, white people did that.
Yeah. And
It involves lynchings.
we only had one person of color, two now, but in the top seat it was only one.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, man, fuck that politics shit. Like I told you before, I don't argue politics. I don't argue sports. I don't.
Mm.
Well, I don't know. It's playoff season now, so I might bitch a little bit. Like, that's it.
bitching about how bad a team you like does is not the same as arguing. So you're right.
All right, yeah,
Even though I don't really watch.
okay. Now, I'm gonna say that, like, the Mets are in first place, but now they're fucking up, and now they're gonna not get the division. So I'm a little pissed about that, but they still make the playoffs. I'm like, all right, fine, fuck it, But that's all. That's all.
And you got no argument for it because I don't even watch baseball.
I don't either. I'm more of like I said, the postseason person. Like,
Mm-hmm.
between April and like August, I don't give a fuck. Like, that's just basically them just getting ready. Like, after the All-Star game, that's when a team's gonna make it or not. Just like any other sport. It's like football. Football now, fuck that. That shit just started. Get to like December, January and talk to me, let me know. Let not go from there. Just like, people get mad when I call them the New Jersey Giants and New Jersey Jets. Well, they play in Jersey, so what the fuck? Why they call New York team?
But it's accurate. We don't have a stadium for them here in New York. They were playing in Jersey. They're a Jersey team.
Yeah. Well, they were originally playing here. The Giants were playing in Yankee Stadium a while ago, a long time ago, and the Jets were playing in Shea Stadium. But they made the Meadowlands, and then now they got MetLife, whatever the fuck now. So technically, still they're the New York Giants and New York Jets because, yeah, whatever. Like I said, another pointless thing to argue about.
I get where you're coming from, but I agree with you. I mean, when it comes to the financials, they're a Jersey team.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know if we make any revenue on that. I'm not looking that up either. If they do it, fine, whatever. But the only team that I know for sure that we have is Buffalo, and they're upstate.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only New York team technically we have. Football.
They're in northern New York, basically.
Yeah.
They're basically in Canada.
Yeah. Yeah, literally like hop and skip and jump away. But yeah. Yeah. Anything else you want to vent on? Anything else on your mind you want to discuss?
I think I'm good for now.
Okay,
I'm gonna get my grub on real quick.
Sounds good. Well, thanks for having me.
Man.
Like I said, you're welcome anytime.
For sure. Just let me know when, and if I can hop on, I will definitely hop on.
Sounds good, brother.
All right.
All right. Talk soon.
Peace.